Hey guys, today's video is a little bit of a discussion video, and I feel like I've been wanting to do this video for some time, and then recently I had a great conversation with a subby who's going to private school soon, and I just thought that this would be a great video, for parents or kids in general who just want to know the insight of public school versus private school from a student's perspective who has been in both. So I'm going to be talking about my experiences with public school and private school, putting them together and weighing the pros and the cons, and also how I chose my school and what to look for in schools. So let's get started. I have my notes on my phone, so that's where I'm going to be looking. So the first thing about public school is that it is very lax, with the whole rules. You have a uniform, but uniform is not always enforced. Well, from my perspective, at my school, in my experience, uniforms were not always enforced. Rules were very, very lax. It was just not a lot of discipline for the students, and it was just a very lax environment. The next thing is that there was standardized testing so much, and I know that this is true for a lot of public schools, is that standardized testing happens at least every other month. That's how much I was being tested. SRIs, we used to do the MSAs, park testing. We did so many testing, and it just took away from learning time. We were being tested so much, and the test scores didn't even go to anything important, so it was really just a waste of time. The next thing is that the curriculum is not made to fit every single student. It just puts all the students in one box and expects you to be that way. And also what I mean by, aside from the curriculum, when you go to high schools, you can pick the whole performing arts school, or where I live, they have science and tech, and that's honestly your two options, and those don't really cater to a lot of the public school students, because personally I don't like science or technology, and performing arts has nothing to do with what I want to do in the future. So none of those cater to me, so I was just stuck, and I would have been in a basic school doing nothing with my talents because neither of those programs suited me. The next thing was that students really aren't focused because they don't see the longevity of where school is going to take them. Their parents aren't paying for anything, so they come to school to hang out, socialize, get on Snap, whatever, talk. It's just nobody's really focused. They don't care about doing their work. If anything, they care about drama and shoes and fighting more than they do their education, and that can get in the way of the students who actually care about their education, because they can get sucked into the drama, and that gets them distracted from the point of being at school in the first place. The next thing is that you do a lot of busy work in public school, and the work is very easy. So if you are an accelerated student or an accelerated learner, the work is going to be way too easy for you. So that's why a lot of public school kids that I know have 99% in classes and stuff, and I'm like, that just doesn't sound right. The work is so easy, it's really easy. The next thing is that you aren't really prepared for the real world once you get out of public schools. And what I mean by this is you don't get those core values in public school, like doing service or just hard work in general, because you really don't do that much hard work in public school. So a lot of the times when they get to college, it's kind of like a slap in the face, and it's like, wow, I actually have to do work here, because they're so used to not doing work in public school, or a lesser amount of work, and it's like you're not used to it when you get to college. The next thing is that the GPA in public school and the grading scale in public school is done a lot differently. I'll talk about that a little bit more when I start talking about private school, but it is a lot easier to attain a 4.0 in public school than it is in private school. I always tell my friends who are in public school that when they show me their 4.0s or 99s in classes or 4.3s, in private school, that is equivalent to about a 3.4 or a 3.5. If you have a public school, if you go to public school and you have a 4.0, it is no way that you doing the same amount of work, you'll have that in private school. It's not going to work out that way. You have to put in the work, and it's a lot more work. The next thing is that Teachers, some of the teachers actually care, and some of the teachers are just coming there to get their paycheck. So you don't really have like the intimate relationship with your teachers. They just care about getting paid. They honestly could care less about you. You have those very few teachers who you will build strong bonds with, but for the most part, from my experience, they could care less, you know. They don't care. And the next thing is that public schools really aren't up to date, and this goes with the whole budgeting and everything. A lot of the public schools are very outdated. You know, the buildings need to be redone, libraries and everything. And a lot of taxpayers don't realize that your money is it's like it's going to nowhere when you look at the public schools, because the books are very old. The facilities like gyms and libraries, they're all very old and dated, and it's so many issues with the schools that nobody is dealing with. So that's everything about public school. Now I'm going to move on to private school. So the first thing is that it is very, 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 very strict. And the uniform rules are enforced to a T. You know, your skirt has to be longer than fingertip. Your socks need to be the right length. You must have on the correct shoes. Your hair can only be natural colors. No headbands bigger than 1 inch. No excessive jewelry, no nose rings, no tattoos. The list of rules goes on and on and on. And if you do not follow these rules, you will be handled accordingly. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know the expectations, and you have to follow those if you want to get through. The next thing is religion classes. This was something that was very weird for me when I first came to private school, was having a class where you go and you learn about catechism and God and all of that stuff. And it was definitely a big shift for me because it's a little weird. I mean, well, not really. It's weird to have to go to a religion class every day once you've come from a school where you're told not to talk about religion at all, because you're not supposed to talk about religion in public school. So it's weird to come from that hush-hush place into somewhere where it's very open and it's like you're doing homework about it. Like, it's very different. The next thing is that we only do one standardized test a year, and that is the HSPT. And I really like this because it actually shows you your, what's that score called? Your score for no, it's not the HSPT. It is called the PSAT. That's why I was having issues. I'm sorry. We take the PSAT, which is the practice SAT. So you get your SAT scores back, and it shows you where you need to improve and everything for when you take the actual SAT. And that's very helpful because it gives our guidance counselors and us something to look at for what we need to work on, whether it's our grammar and comprehension or math. So the standardized tests that we do take, it actually helps you a lot to get ready for the test that actually matters and the test that colleges will be looking at. The next thing is that different private schools have different programs to cater to each student. So in general, at my school, we have a law program, which is what I'm in. So you're learning what law students are learning basically, and that's a 2-year program. We have pharmacy at my school, engineering, mechanical engineering. They build such cool things like phone cases, and I mean that's kind of the basic things that they do. They build robots. They do so much cool stuff. We have the theater company and music company, and the list goes on and on and on. And every single private school has something different to offer you based on your needs. So when it comes to me, right when I saw law, I was like, this is where I need to be because it fit me. It was right for me. The next school is that, the next thing is that every student has a common goal at my school, and that is to get their education, and that's it. Because in private school, your parents are paying not only the taxes for public school, but now they're paying tuition for private school. So you can't go in there and act a fool. So everybody is striving to get all A's on everything. Everybody comes in focused, ready to learn. I mean, it's a totally different environment. Everybody has their homework done. You go into class and everybody's quiet. There is none of the distractions. There is no fighting. There's barely any drama because everybody is focused on their books. The next thing is like your push, just like you are in college. I go to a college prep school. So So I'm already basically in the college environment. You get what you earn. Like, they're not going to hand you an A. If you deserve a C, you get a C. There is no in between. Next thing is sisterhood, and that's one thing that I've learned from my school, because I go to an all-girls school, is that everybody is like family, everybody is close. You know, whether you talk to that person every day or not, you're still going to help them, you're still going to talk to them, you know, say hi. Everybody is just so friendly. It's no hostility or anything, and that can be a very good feeling, because you know if somebody sees you crying, they're going to come pick you back up, regardless of if they know your first name or not, just because that's what we're taught. We're taught to treat each other like sisters, and that's what we do. The next thing is, since I'm doing college work now, when I get to college, it'll be a piece of cake. And at first I was like, is that really true? But more and more people who have graduated from my school come back and say what an easy time that they're having in college because of how my school prepared them, and they see that the other people around them are struggling even a little bit, and they don't know some of the skills that we're taught because they didn't go to our school. I hope that makes sense. But like, they're struggling because they were learning at a slower pace, or they weren't doing as much as we're doing. The next thing is that I have very close bonds with all of my teachers, faculty, administration, and my counselors. You know, I'm on the first name basis with everybody. Go down the hallway, everybody knows my name. Oh, hey, Kamira. Oh, hey, so-and-so. Like, you can just walk up in their office, have a conversation. It's one big family, and they all enjoy coming to their job, because in private schools, more than likely, they graduated from the school you go to, so they really, really enjoy what they do. They love coming to work, and it's a great feeling to be around people who genuinely enjoy being there and have your well-being at the top of their priority list. This is the next thing, we follow a college GPA scale. I don't really know what you call it, but we do the plus and minus system. I don't think any public schools do this, but we follow the plus and minus system. So it is a lot harder to get a higher GPA. So if you have all A's, but they are a 92, you have all A minuses, and you no longer have a 4.0. You would have about a 3.7. I'm not exactly sure, but I know it's not a 4.0. So that makes it a lot harder to get a higher GPA, but at the same time, it prepares you for college, because that is the grading scale that you will be following there, so you know what to expect. The next thing is that guidance is already preparing us for college. We started preparing for college freshman year. They're already sending us on college tours. We already have our colleges picked out. We already know what goals we need to achieve. We know everything. Like, we stay on it about college, and we're already ready. Like, I don't know anybody at my school who doesn't know their number one choice for college. Like, we all know. We have it planned out, and we constantly talk about it, and we've done research on our schools together as groups. There's just so much talk about colleges, and we go on field trips to different colleges. It's just really great. So the next thing is that we have a very, also 16, we have a very, very beautiful campus, and I feel like so many private schools have beautiful campuses. It's just like, you take pride in the things that are around you. In public school, you know, there is no gum on tables, or it's just a very clean environment, because you know how, like, you're basically paying for everything that you're walking on, so you're not going to mess it up. You know, we have a brand new turf field, we have a brand new track, brand new gym, we have a beautiful library, we have MacBooks. It's just so many tools that are available for you, and you're not getting the bottom of the barrel when you're in private school. You're getting, like, our turf field is so beautiful. Like, oh, I don't even know. It is just so pretty, and you won't necessarily get that in a public school. A lot of the things will be very old because the budget doesn't allow them to fix it up. But in private school, right when you get that money, it's like, we might as well fix it up. And the very last thing is that values are instilled into you about being a woman and what it takes to be a Christian woman. You know, I'm taught a lot about service, and we go on a lot of service trips to help people who are less fortunate than us. We learn a lot about having respect for ourselves and respect for those around us. they just really make sure that you carry yourself with dignity and that you're just as strong as you, just as strong as you could possibly be. So here are a few things that I learned from going to public to private school. So the first thing was that I had a very big culture shock because I was used to going to a school with all black people. That's just what it was. But now I go to school with literally everyone. Like, everyone looks so different. So when the first day of school, I was like I wasn't used to that. So it was definitely a change for me with that. And I wish that I was in private school all along because you just have so many more opportunities when you're in private school. Like, for example, last summer I did an internship at the courthouse. And it's like, what other child do you know at 15 as a freshman is doing an internship at the courthouse? Like, that's crazy. Everybody else, like, in the courthouse was in college and everything. And here I am doing it in high school because my school set it up for me. It's just so many more opportunities for you. And I learned quickly when I got there that, like, learning-wise, I was a lot... No, that didn't make sense. I learned when I got there that I was very far behind all of the other students when it came to reading, writing, math, grammar, because they have been in private school with the very tight-knit curriculum and learning schedule their whole life that there was no playing with grammar and writing, to where I didn't get taught that much about writing and grammar as much as I should have been. So a lot of, like, still to this day, and when I go to school, a lot of the kids are very far ahead of me when it comes to writing and all those things. And I think that definitely opened my eyes to see that it's definitely time to buckle down because it's a big competition. Like, you need to buckle down. The next thing that I was going to say was that it's a competition. Yeah, the public school children, I feel like, don't 100% understand how much is going to be coming for them when you get out of high school, because you don't really see it. You know, everybody has the same mindset as you depending on what school you go to. But when you come to private school, you see that those kids are focused, those kids are ready. They're ready to be the next president, the next mathematician, the next lawyer. Like, there really is no games with them. It's all one big competition to be the valedictorian, it's to be the school president. Like, it's really one big competition, and it shows you that this is how it's going to be in the real world. So you need to get ready for that competition because they're coming for you regardless. Like, the competition is very, very fierce. So last thing is, how did I pick my school? So I picked my school based on the price of tuition, of course, what they had to offer me, and I mean what programs catered to me, what electives catered to me. For me, it was a law program. Like I said, I was very interested in that. So that's what pulled me to my school. And the college acceptance list, I feel, is very important because when colleges look at you, when they see your school, they automatically know how well that school is, and you just carry the name of whatever private school you go to with you. So the colleges definitely look at you a lot more when you're in private school, and it's better to see where their students are usually accepted to because you want them to have as many colleges on their list as possible. You don't want, like, Prince George's Community College and that's it. You want Harvard, all the big names, Yale, I don't know all the other ones, but that's what you want to see when you look at the college acceptance list. The next thing was that the environment, I wanted to see how everyone acted, how the teachers were, if it was light and airy, or if I could cut the tension with a steak knife. I just had to go see the environment for myself and see if that was somewhere that I could be every single day. The next thing was the location, because you don't want to be too far from home, but you definitely have to factor in the location and traffic and everything. So take the location very seriously when you're looking at a school. And the last thing was classes that they offered. So do they have foreign language classes that you want to take, you know, financial management, psychology, whatever the case may be. You need to see if that school has every single class that you want. And if they don't, there are private schools that cater to students' every single need. So just continue to look and you'll find whatever school is best for you. So hope this video was very helpful for any parent or student who was looking to go to private school or was hesitant about the transition. So if you guys have any questions or anything for me, leave them down in the comments below, or any advice to anybody who's going to private school, leave it down in the comments below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video because I enjoyed making it for you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye guys.